Who's that Pokemon? It's AlphaOmegaSin! I'd be a really awesome Pokemon, by the way. I'd be Steel, and I'd be Dark-type. Yeah, that'd probably be the best course of action for me. So anyway, now, this was an interesting little news story that I came across and opened up like all these avenues of discussion about it because it just made me wonder exactly what the future is going to hold. But we're going to see Pokemon the trading card game. We're going to see a game version of this on the iOS platform. So on iPhones and iPads, we'll see Pokemon trading card game. Official shit, by the way. Not just like somebody's making this and putting it out there and Nintendo's like, Banhammer! No, nothing like that. We're seeing an official release from the Pokemon Company, owned by Nintendo, on Apple hardware. I was just like, hold the fuck up. Nintendo's actually really, truly, honest to fucking goodness, considering mobile? Yes. Yes, they are. And this made me wonder a whole bunch. I'm like, holy fuck. Have they actually inked a deal with Apple unofficially or officially and just haven't said anything yet about releasing games on there? Is this them just testing the waters? Is this actually going to be released on a Nintendo 3DS? And if not, is this going to become some kind of a split market where you get your Nintendo 3DS games and then you get all of your mobile games? Like, what's going to be going on? Is this just like a one-time only deal just for shits and giggles? Because I've actually made videos in the past talking about Pokemon trading card game. If you ever get bored, watch them. But Pokemon trading card game, like, I loved that shit a whole bunch whenever it first came out. Like, I've always played Magic the Gathering my entire life. As a matter of fact, I still play it even today. And Pokemon trading card game, which is done by Wizards of the Coast, they had put that out, and I was just like, oh, fuck yeah, I watch the anime, I play the games, of course I'll get the cards! And gotta catch 'em all, dollar bills, and, you know, Nintendo's just like, it's printing money, it's so great! And money shooting around everywhere and stuff, and fucking, like, strippers dressed up like Misty and stuff, and are just, like, doing shit like this. I'm just like, huh. But, you know, I'm more of a Jesse from Team Rocket kind of guy. That's just me, though. But there was just so many thoughts going through my head. I'm just like, okay, what's the future going to hold for this? Like, are we really going to have a split market? But I want to see this show up on the 3DS, because I was looking at it, like, I actually like Magic the Gathering Duels of the Planeswalkers. If you've ever played that, like, that's on iOS platform, which kind of makes sense thinking about this. I wonder if it's the same people making it. They didn't divulge any of those details or anything, but it was one of those things that kind of came to mind. I'm like, well, it looks the same, but is it made by the same people? If so, then it's probably going to be of, like, pretty decent quality. But seeing that, I'm just like, well, that's pretty fucking rad. But I'm just like, what about the Wii U? What about the 3DS? Why it hasn't anything been announced for that? And this has been an announcement. It was actually Jay Witz on YouTube. If you ever go and check him out, he's actually like big Pokemon fucking dude. But he actually gets like first-hand Pokemon info and details and products and stuff, which is fucking sweet. But he ended up getting to unearth this to the entire world first, which is a really strange kind of platform to go and do it on. I'm surprised you didn't see something like this at like Gamescom or something. But either way, I was just like, okay, that's fucking badass. But we have to go and backtrack. Nintendo making stuff for Apple. That right there, I'm just like, okay, what about the Android market? What about Windows Phone? For all 5 people that have a fucking BlackBerry? Like, what's going to be going on with all those other platforms? Is this just an exclusively inked deal? Is there other franchises that are going to end up cropping up on something like this? Again, is it just a one-time deal, or is it just with the Pokemon Company? And Nintendo's just kind of giving it, you know, the A-okay? Is this going to end up making direct competition for Nintendo? You know, if they had this on both platforms and you're getting it on a non-Nintendo hardware piece, obviously the 3DS, and you're getting on a mobile device, is that going to cut into their profit margin at all? It's just like, will they be competing against themselves? That's one of the things that I've always wondered about, and I can understand why Nintendo's been reluctant to officially jump into the mobile market, but at the same point, do you know how many people out there have emulators on their phones? Like, virtually everybody I know has emulators on their phones and are playing games illegally, and I'm talking Nintendo, Game Boy, Super Nintendo, Game Boy Advance, etc., 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 and even 3DS stuff, okay, and regular DS, and all sorts of other shit. I'm just like, why don't you just toss the games out there, make it dirt fucking cheap? Because, well, if people can just download the shit for free somewhere else, why pay you a whole bunch of money for it other than to just be an upstanding citizen and support the company that you love? But think about this. This could actually be really fucking cool, but I know that there's a lot of people who are like, yeah, but I want all this stuff. I bought a 3DS. I want 3DS games. I bought a Wii U. I want Wii U games. Why the fuck am I not getting games on these, but you're releasing them on those platforms? And that's a good argument. That's actually a very good argument, and that's one of those things where it's a fine line to go and walk. So, what's the future going to hold for Nintendo right now? Like, is this them testing out what they want to do with their future? Is this just something they want to do for shits and giggles just because people have actually demanded it for years? And people have, despite the fact that there's going to be an entire rally of people who are going against that and saying, you know, fuck that, it should be on the 3DS and Wii U. We bought those, that's where we want the stuff. But everybody has a phone in their pocket, and people have tablets and all sorts of other shit, so I can understand them want to have something like that, because it's something they always have with them, so why not be able to enjoy it everywhere, all the time? But it's just, oh man, there's two sides of the fence, and arguments on both sides are extremely valid and make sense, and it's just one of those things I'm like, fuck me running. I don't know, but I just thought it was really interesting to hear that one of Nintendo's biggest properties, one of their biggest financially, especially most well-known and revered, is showing up on the iOS platform. And let's be realistic, despite the fact that Apple doesn't have a console, iPads and iPhones are competition to consoles and PC. Like, that's what... Like, anything that is a piece of hardware that can have the same exact kind of entertainment on it is direct competition. Whether you want to admit it or not, or view it as that or not, it is. So it's interesting to think that they are kind of releasing their stuff on competing hardware. So that's one way to go and look at it, but it's just like, what are we going to see next? Is there going to be anything next? Is this going to turn out to be like a really badass game? I really want to play it now because again, I really like Magic the Gathering Duels of Planeswalkers. If you haven't played it and you like Magic the Gathering, it's pretty fucking fun. Like, I thought it was going to be one of those bullshit things where you had to buy the cards individually, and it's like, yeah, but you know, if you want to get that Jace Bellerin card, it's going to be like $25 for a digital version. I'm like, no, it's fucking not. But to me, again, it's just curiosity killing the fucking cat, and killing me because I want to know what the hell is going on, but all I can do is just make assumptions right now and kind of rack my brain. So what do you all out there think right now? Do you think that this is a one-time only deal? Do you think that there's more to come? Do you think they have a deal exclusively with Apple? Are they ever going to make anything on Android or all the other platforms that are out there? Nintendo, are you ever going to make a phone that's going to have, like, you know, it'll be a Samsung Galaxy SN, and it'll be for Nintendo, or S64. Yeah, that'd be really fucking awesome. And, you know, it can have, like, wallpapers and fucking, like, ringtones and sound effects and an exclusive batch of games that you can only get on there, and they're all free and come preloaded onto it, and it has, like, its own designs and shit after, like, the Game Boy or the fucking NES or some shit like that. I think something like that would fucking sell. I already know I'd buy it. I'd fucking buy it in a heartbeat, and it'd be really kick-ass. But just saying, if something like that is going to be in the future, what the hell could we expect? You know, is this just a deal with the Pokemon Company only, and Nintendo just kind of gave them, like, you know, the fucking okay? Are you okay with an idea like this, or do you think that it should only be on Nintendo platforms? Just tons of things to say and think. That's why I want to go and make this video and talk about it. So, either way, you already heard what I had to say. This is AlphaOmegaSin, as always, nerds, nerdettes, and gamers. Game the fuck on.